A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
When Alex became a god, he thought he would have no problems at all. Until... he landed in the Divine Dimension and was tasked with protecting the entire multiverse.
Am I connected to every single Alex Ambrose that ever existed?
Alex could travel across dimensions, defying the laws of time and space, to help other Alexes throughout the multiverse. But then everything changed.
No! Aw!
I have to go back and save them.
But if Alex went back to the mortal world, he would relinquish all of his power and his memories.
I don't have a choice. I must go back.
When Alex returned back to Earth, he goes back to being your average business tycoon millionaire, unaware that the people he cared most about are in danger.
Someone help me!
Yvonne, what happened?
I was attacked by a monster. Alex? What's going on? Get away from him! He is my boyfriend!
Who attacked Yvonne in the forest? What will Debbie do next? Who will Alex choose between the two women? Will Alex ever remember who he was before traveling into a different multiverse? To hear what happens next and whether Alex can stop the deranged monster before he strikes again, listen to the original audio drama, Insta Millionaire Returns, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and find out.
Presentation.
Welcome in to Turn 200's coverage of the Carolina Classic here at the Charlotte Rallycross course. It is week number 2 of the Special Stage Pro Truck Series. Welcome back after a fun week off, hopefully, for everybody. My name is Tommy Cook. We've got our multi-time Pro Truck champion, Mr. James Watson, alongside here as well. Welcome back, and some time away after a wild one at Wild West Motorsports Park. May have done some of these drivers a couple of favors, but then again, maybe not, because this is looking to be an awfully challenging evening ahead of our 23 drivers that have come out here to partake in Special Stage here tonight.
Yeah, we thought the start at Wild West was chaotic. Well, this is going to be a heck of a lot more chaotic. You're going to have multiple rows of 3 wide, barely any space in between all of them, barreling down into a very tight 90-degree left-hander. Yeah, it's going to get nasty tonight.
And, of course, Rallycross courses bring their own set of challenges anyway. We'll get into those in just a second. But just to remind everybody how things shook out at Wild West Motorsports Park, we've got the points standings after 2 rounds of action, 1 week completed a couple of weeks ago. Of course, it is Josh Edmondson atop the point standings. Really, these top 3, not much of a surprise to see any of them up here in the standings, and still plenty of racing left to go here with 8 more weeks of competition, including our 2 kind of races here tonight as well. Edmondson, Winkler, and Heggie, your top 3. Not at all surprised to see those up there, James. And of course, you've raced against those guys in multiple different cars and facets. They're fast everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely not surprising at all. You can kind of pencil in to expect those guys at least somewhere near the top 5 in the timing charts. So it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with the starts and whether or not they can get themselves a good enough gap to the chaos behind.
So let's run through a different format here tonight. Technically, there are still 2 races this evening, but the first portion of tonight's program is going to be multiple different heat races. That will set the field in part. We do have more than 16 drivers here tonight. That is the most that could be on the starting grid at once. So we will have a consolation race between the heat races. The heat races all pay full points. So everybody will technically be credited with a race start. And then those drivers that make it out of the consi or make it out of their heat will be credited with starting the second feature here tonight as well. We'll give you more of the details here, as now it is time to set the starting lineup for heat race number 1. And it'll be Mladen Lakovic. I hope and pray that I am saying that correctly. That will be on the pole for heat race number 1. Joey Herbie will start to his outside. Mark Greco and Dennis Mickelson on row number 2. Josh Edmondson back at P5. And Brody Gunter will start to his outside in 6. Nicholas Pressey and Colin McDonough on row number 4. Stephen C. Thompson and Nathan Ramsey, your top 10. Josh Heggie and Rodney Matney. Heggie way back there. I don't think posted a qualifying lap, but your feature winner from round 2 of week 1, starting in 11th next to Rodney Matney. Unique starting position. If we could get a good camera angle of it. I don't know if we're going to. Holy cow, we may have to go to the chopper cam here. Look at that. These drivers are going to start at the oval start-finish line and find their way into the infield track, kind of where the Roval is, similar layouts. And already there, a jump start from somebody in the middle of the pack.
Oof.
Lighten them up. We're underway. 2 and 3 wide, banging doors already.
Oh, boy.
They've all got a funnel in here.
Oh, there's a little bit of contact. Oh, God. Oh my. They're 3 wide.
They are 3 wide, and there's not enough room for that. Whole shot goes to Mickelson. Herbie in second. That is Edmondson challenging inside your pole sitter, Lakovic. As Edmondson, with a little bit of a bump there, Lakovic sideways, up over the jump we go. Trying to get the lay of the land here. It's still Mickelson leading, Herbie here in second. Tight corner there, and it looks like somewhat of a track state update as well, because lots of unique characteristics to this track are being taken on in practice, and not particularly good ones as well.
Nope, track state was reset, so we're back to a basically fresh track. So a lot of what you were doing in practice, you're not able to do right now. But I tell you, the race leader, I'm not surprised to see him up front. With me kind of stepping away from the Pro 2 Light series, the man dominating the series now is that 41 of Dennis Mickelson. He is absolutely unreal in these trucks in this series. He has a ton of experience and a ton of wins here at Charlotte. This is one track I could never even hope to keeping up with him at. So I am absolutely not surprised to see him out front right now.
Joey Herbie, you are required to take 2 Joker laps, even in the heat race. 2 Joker laps required. So now 7 laps to go at the stripe. Not sure what's going on, but Dennis Mickelson, I thought was in the lead. I think he is. There we go. Our timing and scoring kind of went crazy there for just a second. So now Edmondson has gotten through as Joey Herbie taking that Joker lap, put him back 2 spots. We were talking about earlier tonight, the Joker laps at most places is a shortcut. Here at Charlotte, it's the long cut. You're going to lose time taking this Joker lap.
Yeah, it's a lot more like the European style Jokers. Like you see in a lot of the European rallycross tracks, they have a longer Joker that loses you time, as opposed to like the Jokers at any of the Daytona layouts or Phoenix, where it's a shortcut. Here, it's a long cut. You're going to lose time, so you have to factor that in. You have to make sure that you have a good enough delta to where you're not coming out in traffic and having to give up a whole lot of time trying to get by the trucks that you were already running in front of. So it adds a whole nother wrinkle to the Joker strategy, as opposed to the other ones like Phoenix or Daytona, where you're like, you eat it down to get that extra time saved.
Take a full lap around here on the right front cam. As Edmondson giving chase, and the top 2 have tightened up. Mickelson taking his first Joker lap has given the lead back to your pole sitter, Lakovic. Stickers are Queen in the chat. Let's check in on Rodney Matney, who is battling right now to stay inside the top 10. Not sure if you have eyes on how many heat races we're going to do here to see how many drivers are going to transfer out of this. I see a couple different colored lines on here. I'm not sure if that means we've got a transfer line or not.
It looks like we are going to be running 2 heat races.
Okay. So maybe the top 6 out of each, and then a consi to take 4?
It's looking like the top 4 are going to be transferring from the heats.
So maybe 2 consis. Or a really big transfer out of the consi.
Yeah, I think we might be getting 2 consis from what I see so far.
Okay. So right now your transfers are Mickelson, Lakovic,
oh no!
That's wow!
A huge mistake.
Wow, your pole sitter was just the race leader, now is outside of the transfer and going to continue to fall. As he's back to 5th, Mark Greco gets through. This is Brody Gunter now challenging. As Lakovic will go ahead and take his final Joker lap and maybe send it a bit too deep there.
Yeah, that is unbelievably easy to do at this layout. Because of the line that you have to take through the hairpins to get the truck to rotate, you are basically having to put the front of the truck so close to those inside walls. And if you get just a little too close, you can kind of catch the wall with your tire, and it just grips in and it just hooks you around, and you see exactly what you saw right there. It just kind of hooks you out of the way, and you're basically spun. And yeah, it's just a unfortunate thing that happens.
Let's take a look at it real quick. You saw that just a lot in practice.
Yep. I've done it myself quite a few times. Super easy to do.
Edmondson there got pretty close, but he's trying to keep it nice and tidy. Joey Herbie closing in. Mark Greco's still with his final transfer spot, but Brody Gunter is not too far behind. Maybe Greco was going for the Joker lap. Gunter is not. Still Mickelson up front.
Yeah, everyone is taking their Joker, so this is a straight-up fight.
No pressure really for these top three, and in fact, we still have the full field invert, even with taking drivers out of the conti. So maybe if you're not thinking about points and you're just thinking about the feature, maybe better off to stay in third here if you're Joey Herbie. Not that getting past Edmondson's going to be easy anyway. Oh, and that is going to hurt.
That was a great recovery, though. So I thought for sure he was going to be hooking it on the wall just like Blakovich did, but he was able to just kind of flick it back to where the tires didn't grip the wall, and he was able to continue.
1 lap to go for Dennis Mickelson. Trying to keep Josh Edmondson at bay. And hello to Ryan Dye, who we'll see here in this next heat race.
Oh, Dennis missed the line just a little bit.
Just a bit. Oh, and let Edmondson into the wall there. Josh is digging hard. But Mickelson will take heat race number 1. Edmondson in second. Joey Herbie in third. And there is Mark Greco. So Gunter, Lakovic, Pressey, Heggie, last week's race winner, Thompson, Matney, Ramsey, and McDonough are all going to have to transfer out of the Conti. Bonk. All right, let's see if we can get the starting grid for heat race number 2. And it will be Sean Winkler on the front row with Joey Kirk, Greg Johnson, and Matt Schlosser on row 2, James Lehman and Victor Aldrich on the third row. Ryan Dye, Josh Jackson, row 4, Drew Emery, Alex Howland, and Jarrell Williams, your 11 starters. And we'll have to go chopper cam again. Put it on TWR driver Victor Aldrich there. So he finds himself on the inside at 3 wide already.
Oh, boy. Oh, we're almost 4 wide.
Funnel it down. The only time you got to make that left. Good getaway for Joey Kirk. Up front is, good Lord. That is Josh Jackson yard sailed with Matt Schlosser.
That was violent.
Gracious. Wow. Okay.
He got knocked out of the park.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Wow.
We will definitely take a look at that here in a second as soon as the front of this field sorts itself out. Sean Winkler, really weird bite into that turn. I wonder if this track state is starting to change just a bit. As
Absolutely. You can already see the rubber starting to form. Yeah, that's what we call the blue groove. That's what you really kind of want to see, because there is a heck of a lot more grip in this track now.
Greg Johnson taking his Joker early. This is James Lehman here in third. Sean Winkler in second. Joey Kirk leading the way. Victor Aldrich right now on the bubble.
Yeah, there was a pretty decent gap behind the top 5, so that's a really smart Joker use by Greg, because now he's got 1 out of the way, only lost 1 spot. He's got a good gap up to the truck's head, so he's not actively kind of losing time to those in front of him. That was a really smart maneuver there.
Ooh, Winkler and Lehman nearly getting together there. Lehman was involved in the last lap crash last night in the Max V season opener at Daytona. That was a rather interesting race, to say the least. Said he was looking forward to getting back to it here tonight. And for whatever reason, on this lap in particular, our leaderboard just does a full random cycle. And now I can't find anybody. There we go.
It's like Kirk is starting to eke out just a little bit. Oh, there goes Lehman on his first Joker.
It's always so unnerving just to see him just absolutely careen off the track. Victor Aldrich taking his Joker here as well. All right, I promised it. Let's take a look at it. This is Josh Jackson. It's behind Greg Johnson there. Oh, wow. And that's Ryan Ty getting sat on. Let's take that one more time.
Yeah, that would be an ambulance call if that was real life. That is gnarly.
Good Lord.
I would have loved to just known what Ryan was saying in the moment, because wow, that is, you were absolutely not expecting that. Oh
wow, here we go for the lead. Oh! Winkler getting out, getting the elbows out on. Oh, I guess that was for second rather, not for the lead. The Joey Kirk is way up the road here, but Winkler getting back to second. Lehman going to take another Joker here. Aldrich has gotten through on Johnson. Now Victor will take his Joker lap. I think that's his final one. I switch to the top ticker. Our side pylon is not working. And it doesn't look like the top ticker is going to work either. Oh, the joys of heat racing and SDK gaming. They get along great.
Impressive run by Kirk. He's putting a pretty healthy gap on Sean. It's not an easy thing to do.
And he's almost 2 seconds ahead. Winkler giving chase. Greg Johnson to third as Lehman's taking his final Joker. So it's
Victor Aldrich just close to making it into that transfer spot.
Yep, only a second behind now, half a second. Would love to not have to deal with the Consi. As Joey Kirk going to take his Joker, and Winkler now is going to be up front. 3 to go.
And it looks like Sean's the only one in the top 5 that still has a Joker remaining. So we've got some straight up fights here.
Oh, as Sean off the side there, and that could have been an absolute disaster. He's got a nearly 3-second lead, though. How big of a gap do you need to pull out ahead with this lead?
I would say it's been a while since I've raced here. I would say about 2.5 seconds.
Well, he's got 3.5 right now as Kirk is falling into the clutches of Greg Johnson. Winkler not going to take it, but Kirk has got his hands full.
Yeah, Greg is absolutely heating up the rear of that Mobile One truck.
Two more times around before we head to our first Consi race. Drew Emery taking a spin. And that slow right-hander. Oh, Lehman off the jump.
Lehman!
Lehman off the jump is going to lose the transfer spot to Victor Aldrich.
I wonder if he just kind of went over the jump as he was cresting over it.
Winkler foregoes. Still has a 3.5 second lead back to Joey Kirk. Gap is nearly 4 seconds now.
He has absolutely opened it up in these last couple laps.
Just needed some clean track and some clean air. A little herky-jerky there through the slow right. We'll take the Joker. And a 4.2 second lead is cut down to about 1.5 seconds, but that is certainly enough for Sean Winkler to take heat race number 2. Joey Kirk, Greg Johnson, Victor Aldrich, the transfers. And what happened to James Lehman?
Yep. Just like I said,
man.
It is so easy to do that because the line you have to take through the long sweeping turn 1 and turn 2, sometimes you don't quite get it right at the very exit. You kind of need to take a wider entry in 1 so that way you can kind of cut down and kind of straight shot it out of 2. And if you don't, the truck naturally kind of slides up to the outside to the exit. And the exit is the jump. So you have that momentum carrying you out. And so it's so easy to just dip a wheel off as you're going over the crest. And if you do, it just takes you right into those barrels at the end of the jump.
I'm sure it is not the last time we're going to see it, as this is starting lineup for the Consi. Brody Gunter, James Lehman, Mladen Lakovic, Darrell Williams, Josh Hagee, Ryan Dye, Steven C. Thompson, Alex Howland, Rodney Matney, Drew Emery, your top 10. Nathan Ramsey, Josh Jackson, Nicholas Pressey. Through to the 13th, Matt Schlosser, Colin McDonough, your 15 drivers. Getting ready to get after it, and they are already getting after it. Trying to funnel in. Oh, man!
Oh, good gracious. Oh, there goes a quarter panel. Oh, they're still touching.
Only 4 laps here for the Consi, as that was Lakovic hitting the inside wall there and still bumping and banging. Parts being shed left, right, and center.
Well, Lehman almost made the same mistake as he did in... Oh, there's Lakovic around.
And that is
amazing job to dodge from everyone.
More than likely, that is his night over, as he is straight to the tail of the field. Williams, Gunter, Dye, Lehman, Howland, the top 5. Howland missing some body work. Here goes Josh Hagee through, and here goes Brody Gunter to the point after Jarrell Williams with a bit of a slip up there. He'll drop all the way back to 3rd.
So, real quick, we are only this is the one and only Consi we are getting, and the top 8 will transfer into the feature.
Williams trying to come back here. That's Ryan Dye in 2nd, not James Lehman, as I said just a second ago. Lehman is in 4th, however. Certainly was not ideal, as Hagee, Pressey, Ramsey all getting after it here. Heggie
ooh.
getting moved out
ping
by
pong.
Alex Howland, one of his ASRL mates. And Joker Lap's still here as well.
Yeah, you still 2 jokers, so you're jokering for literally half of this consi.
Our timing and scoring doesn't know what to think right now. It is all over the place.
We don't even know what to think right now.
It's still Gunter leading. Jerolims here in second. Dye, Lehman, Heggie the top 5, Pressey, Howland, Ramsey the transfers. Ramsey's got some space back to Matt Schlosser, the first driver, giving chase here to make the transfer. They'll be coming to the white flag this time. Jokers for a good chunk of your drivers here. It's going to heat up here for the transfer spot. This is Schlosser closing the gap, and he's got 2 drivers in front of him, Heggie and Ramsey both. Heggie going to swing out wide. Schlosser to driver's right.
Ooh. 2 by 2, let's go.
Very tight confines. It's all on the line. Last week's feature winner struggling to make the field here. He's got the door open underneath. That is Alex Howland, and he's going to get a 2 for 1. Heggie with contact to Schlosser. Schlosser the first one on the outside looking in. Brady Gunter will cross the line to win the consi. And a Joker lap is going to mess everything up here. Who is in, who is out. Schlosser in 7th, Matney in 8th. Josh Heggie is out.
Wow.
A shocker. So Gunter, Dye, Lehman, Williams, Pressey, the top 5, Howland, Schlosser, and Matney, your transfers.
Actually, I'm looking at the final results, and it's showing Heggie in 8th.
Interesting. Our timing and scoring got all messed up here. So I think we're going to a 4-minute warm-up right now. And I can't actually look at the starting grid until we get into the race.
So it's showing me on the results tab in the sim that the top 8 of the consi is Gunter, Dye, Lehman, Jarrell Williams, Nicholas Pressey, the top 5, with Howland, Matney, and Heggie in making up the rest of the top 8. Nathan Ramsey is the first one out.
Did some of those guys not take 2 Joker laps, I wonder, and get penalties?
That's what I'm wondering.
Very interesting. So Josh Heggie going to make it in by the skin of his teeth. Ay, ay, ay.
Well.
So track state continuing to change here. You called it the blue line earlier. This track started to take on a lot of character. And we saw it towards the end of practice as well. What were we seeing towards the end of practice? Because it was pretty intense for the drivers, to say the least.
Well, there's the blue groove, and then there's the actual straight up asphalt, and that's what we were getting towards the end of the practice, was straight up asphalt, the dirt worn completely away. But Matt Schlosser, league owner, just set the track state back to 1%, so we're gonna be back into a completely fresh track here.
So a completely green track. How is that going to fare for these drivers? Because that is, it sounds ideal, but sometimes it isn't.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot less grip on offer, so a lot slower lap times. and it's gonna make going side by side a little bit difficult. You know, how the dirt is at a fresh track, it's basically kind of like real life, having to tiptoe around the middle groove and above at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Once you get out of the main groove, you just fly it up, and you lose so much time trying to get your truck under control and avoid the walls. So we're going to see a lot more trucks getting close to the inside walls and the hairpins, especially the final hairpin, as we saw with the issues from Lakovich, for example. Because you're trying to hook, there's a little bit of curbing right there that isn't quite completely covered up by the dirt. So you're just trying to hook as much of that as you can.
It's like having a fresh patch of mud right in front of you that nobody has been through, and you now have to be the first one to walk into it. It's a sloppy, slimy mess, and it will be for the first couple laps. But a 20-lap feature is what these drivers are up against, and now these drivers that just transferred out of the Consi are going to have to start at the front of this field. We still have the full field invert, so it's just another wrinkle here, and one that I'm sure a few of the drivers in the Consi are very much looking forward to take advantage of, like Josh Heggie did in race number 2 a couple of weeks ago. Clocks are at 0 as Josh Edmondson getting some drift practice in. That should send us right into tonight's feature starting lineup. And, of course, it's Josh Heggie on the pole, Rodney Matney, Alex Howland, Nicholas Pressey, Jarrell Williams, James Lehman, your top 6 starters, Ryan Dye, Brody Gunter, your transfers out of the Consi, Victor Aldrich, Mark Greco, Greg Johnson, Joey Herbie, Joey Kirk, Josh Edmondson, Sean Winkler, and Dennis Mickelson, all the way at the tail end of this field.
Hold on to your butt cheeks, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm sure a lot of clenched cheeks here as we await the drop of the green flag. Our final race of the night, as Matt Schlosser and Nicholas Pressey join us in the chat. And, a false start for Josh Heggie.
Oh, no, the pole sitter.
5 wide.
Oh, my
And nobody's
goodness.
lifting.
Oh.
Absolute pandemonium.
Oh, Gunther way off in the back. He was on the very outside of that 5 wide.
Whole shot for Rodney Matney as well. One up and over. That's Mark Greco. Oh, my gosh. Tumbling. Oh, and more around.
There's more chaos.
Ryan Dye,
our in-race reporter.
I don't even know where to look here. Everybody slipping and sliding around on this sloppy track surface. Chaos. And not to be unexpected. Rodney Matney trying to hold it down up front. Jarrell Williams is in second. Nicholas Pressey, James Lehman, Greg Johnson, your top 5. Lots of contact. Big shot there from Alex Howland up to Greg Johnson.
Howland just yeeted it down in there.
Joker laps already. Pressey using one. Herbie using one. Mickelson using one. This is Edmondson, Joey Kirk, Sean Winkler, a lot of the heavy hitters all right here under a blanket, already into the mid-pack, just outside of the top 5.
I thought Kirk and Edmondson were going to end up in the wall all right at the entry of turn 1 with how they were beating and banging. So many trucks struggling, being with the fresh track state.
Look how dusty it is already.
I know, it's madness.
Up a lot.
We can hardly see the trucks. Few Joker takers.
Edmondson didn't want any part of it, though. Him and Joey Kirk stay it out. Sean Winkler stay it out.
Yeah, I think if you're towards the pointy end of the field, you're going to try to wait to take those jokers. Try to get more of a delta so that way you're not kind of stuck back in the mid-pack. That's why I wasn't quite sure with Greg's joker on lap 1. It worked in the heat because the gap, but he exited right in the thick of the pack. And he's losing all that time trying to get ahead of all the trucks he was already ahead of.
So this is James Lehman at the front. Now he's going to take his joker, and next up will be Joey Kirk. So Kirk looking to lead some laps here. Lots of shuffling still. This is now Lehman out behind Josh Edmondson. And in front of Sean Winkler. Let's take a quick look. Why don't we? Mr. Greco here. Look for the white truck. Yeet. One more look at it.
He landed it. I give that a 10 out of 10.
Certainly is not ideal, but you know, if you're going to do it like that. Beautiful. Winkler threw on Lehman, and Lehman now missing his hood.
You don't need it.
Just going to get dirtier, that's all.
Right?
I'm sure the motor loves it too. Oh, there's a little side-by-side. Matney and Mickelson. Or rather, Matney and Jarrell Williams. Mickelson had to start all the way at the tail of this field. He's already up to 5th. Josh Hagee, who had the false start, trying to work his way back up. This is an absolute gaggle.
I think Gaggle's putting it mildly.
I don't know, a more extreme way to state it than there are. Just a massive humanity here in
There we go.
just outside of the top 10, or rather just inside the top 10 is this is Williams, Gunter, Matney, Herbie, Johnson, all right here together. Ooh. That's Matney kind of off the beaten path there. I feel like we need to point out as well that Ryan Dye made the transfer in the concede after having a truck land on top of him.
He did, and emphatically so. Coming home in P2.
And already is almost missing all the body work that you could shed off of that truck as well. Oh, Lehman clipping the inside wall there, and that should allow Dennis Mickelson to get through. I think Lehman going to fight back and maybe try and body up here on the 41. Mickelson slowly but steadily advancing upward. He is plus 12. In fact, so is everybody else in front of him. All the top 4 have passed exactly 12 trucks to start this race.
Heard over the chat Nicholas Presley saying he's getting, and I quote, bounced around more than Dennis Schroeder.
Interesting.
Which hurts as the fan of the team that most recently traded Dennis Schroeder.
I mean, forget it bounced around, honestly. He's got all the bodywork on that truck still.
I think there was might have been a big schmozzle, and the in the second hairpin.
I mean, that would not shock me whatsoever. See, the race software tries to log crashes for me as there's one right there. Greg Johnson noses into the barrier. But it tries to log crashes for me, but it thinks every time somebody takes a Joker lap, as there's another one around. And it was Victor Aldrich.
Oh,
Team
no.
Watson Racing not faring very well in the corner there.
I'm never going to financially recover from this.
So my software thinks that every time somebody takes a Joker lap, they crash. So it's hard to tell who's actually crashing and who's, doing what they're supposed to do. Here's the battle for second. Joey Kirk, Sean Winkler. As Edmondson is through to the lead. Edmondson 2 1/4 seconds up the road. You see him there just ahead. Boy, Winkler is not letting Kirk have any breathing room here. He is staying on him.
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
Oh, mistake from Kirk. Oh, and there goes Sean.
Throttles up on the inside wall. What a beautiful maneuver there, and he's going to force Joey Kirk to take the Joker lap. This should allow Dennis Mickelson to get through. I'll show you how that got set up in the first place. Well, it was supposed to be Edmondson getting through on Joey Kirk, but that's just Kirk taking his lap, so. Oh, well.
An attempt was made.
Yeah. So Mickelson to third. All your provisional podium drivers have gained 13 positions in this race. And Rodney Matney is towed back to the pits, so that may be the end of his race. So look at what just happened to Matney. Keeping his foot in it. Oh, tagged and youch. Now that's a lot of damage.
Yep.
About 2.5 seconds right now from Edmondson back to Mickelson. Winkler back to third.
And they've taken all their jokers, so once again, we got a straight-up fight here.
If there's one person you don't want to be trailing, I would imagine it's probably him.
Yep. But like I said earlier, Dennis Mickelson is no slouch in this combo.
God. How close you have to cut that corner. Those poor, nicely kept flowers.
Right? I was just thinking that. Like, there's that lovely little flower bed that get absolutely demolished by all these trucks having to clip that curb. It's such a shame. Thankfully, I never have to actually see them because I have my settings turned down so much, so I can hit that curve guilt-free.
Guilt-free, absolutely. It's the battle for 10th. Pressey and Johnson. You have to pay for the upkeep of the flowers since you brought the jumpy trucks here. Is that part of the contract?
Yeah, I can only imagine what poor Slosher is having to pay for to the groundskeepers for all this.
This is Lehman fighting to stay in the top 5 here with Brody Gunter right behind. And now, all of a sudden, we are bumper to bumper for second.
Yeah, Dennis has stopped looking in the windshield and he's looking in the mirror now.
Lap traffic for Edmondson to deal with.
Ooh, Sean just sticking his nose in.
Yeah, and to your point, Mickelson now 4.5 seconds behind for the lead. So he is fully on defense here, trying to stay in second. Like you said, no more Joker laps left with 5 to go. Oh, a little contact there. Oh, and definitely some
there's
contact
a lot
there.
of contact right there.
Mickelson gets pushed wide into the barrier as Winkler is driving hard.
Dennis holds serve, though. Impressive defense right there.
I mean, those barriers are made to move in real life, but they are static objects here as Winkler, again, gonna bully his way up to second there, using that inside line, inside wall for leverage. And Winkler going to be on the move forward. That cost him nearly 2 seconds to the lead. It's 6.5 seconds now. Up to Edmondson with 4 to go.
Yeah, I think Josh might be able to cruise here as we see the 01 missing his hood. Different from the last time we saw this battle.
Oh, Lehman into the inside wall. Gunter not able to take advantage there. Rolls out of it. They both hit that inside barrier there. And the battle for 10th. Heggie and Williams. Pressey coming up there as well.
Hedgie still has the black flag for the jump start.
So I'm assuming it's a post-race time penalty.
Yep.
We'll head back up to 5th. Lehman's still trying to keep Gunter at bay. Not missing anything at the front. Winkler is pulled away by about 1.5 seconds over Mickelson. And Winkler still giving chase to Edmondson by about 8 seconds. That gap is continuing to increase.
Lehman's opening the door, but Brody just can't quite step through.
One lap to go for Josh Edmondson. He has given some time back to Winkler, but I'm sure that's just him making sure that he can bring this one home.
Yeah, just giving a little extra space to the walls. No need to risk it. No need to push it.
Edmondson will put another win on the board. He will take the Carolina Classic here at the Charlotte Rallycross course. Sean Winkler will bring it home in second, and Dennis Mickelson will finish in third. Your podium finishers plus 13 from the start of the race. Joey Kirk spent some time up front. He will finish in fourth. And Brody Gunter threw on James Lehman to get into the top 5, and he picked a perfect time for it. As Ryan Dye getting into an accident after the race as well. Let's take a look at this really, really quick. The pass for Gunter on Lehman.
Ooh, a little bit of a bump and run.
Lehman left in that gap last time. This time Gunter tries to take it and does, with a little help from the bull bar. So there is your race winner. Doing a little drifting. Surprised we have cameras in any of these positions to cover this.
Right?
And how long will he do it for? That's the question as well. Oh, we're back onto the track now. Okie dokie. That should be all for the post-race celebration for Edmondson, who will take his second victory of the season. Let's take a look at the full finishing rundown. Maybe. Oh, it's going to do this again, isn't it? Why? None of my stuff is cooperating with me tonight. That's okay. I'll just read it out loud like I did last time as well. It is the win for Edmondson, Winkler in second, Mickelson in third. We'll talk to these three guys in just a second. Fourth place tonight belongs to Joey Kirk. Fifth will go to Brody Gunter, James Lehman in sixth, Joey Herbie in seventh. Mark Greco will recover from the barrel roll to finish in eighth. And then it is Greg Johnson and Josh Hager, your top 10. Sherelle Williams in 11th. Nicholas Pressey in 12th. Victor Aldrich in 13th. Ryan Dye, Rodney Matney will finish the race. And then Alex Howland in 16th will not. So we'll go hunting for your top 3 finishers here tonight. And we will start with your third place finisher. It is Dennis Mickelson who will bring it home. And a very interesting race here tonight, and you had to pass a lot of trucks to find your way onto the podium here tonight. But congrats on a successful night.
Well, thank you guys. It was very fun. It was a very, very fun night. A lot of good competitors, and that was a battle.
Yes, it was. Multiple times you had to get your elbows out to continue advancing positions there. At one point, you were definitely the fastest driver on the track. And then you came across Sean Winkler there, were able to get past him, and then get passed right back. What was your feature race like from the start to the finish? Where was it most difficult, passing a bunch of trucks or trying to maintain positions once you got through the gaggle there?
I think my night was going very well. I played the Joker laps, how the great Sean Watson taught me how to play them to my advantage, and then unfortunately smashed the wall in turn 1, so then it was just try to maintain as much speed as possible the rest of the race, and unfortunately I couldn't hold off Sean anymore. But it was a good race.
James, what do you got?
Yeah, Obviously, I know your way around this car and track combo. Just go through what it's like, having all the experience you have in the Pro 2 Lite on these Rallycross tracks, and how it helps you trying to go up against the likes of John and Josh and everyone else on track.
Yeah, definitely helps tremendously. As I mean, I'm sure you know, but just like I tell everyone in practices, they get intimidated when my lap times are 1 or 2 seconds faster than them. But I'm like, it's just lap times, just practice or do races. Like I've been doing this as almost as long as James has, and it's years is thousands and thousands of turns that it just gets engraved in your memory. And I'm fortunate enough to have raced here in officials when it was on the schedule, so I have those to fall back on. Where a lot of these guys probably this is their first time on this track.
Well, fun stuff here tonight. Congrats on the heat win earlier. Congrats on the podium here tonight. Happy to have you up here in the booth. Anybody want to shout out before we let you go?
Just want to thank all my friends and family for watching, and Team Herkin and everyone for Team Watson for the good setup. And it was a lot of fun. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Thanks for the time. Have a good night. We'll hope to talk to you again next week.
Thank you.
And now, next up, runner-up finisher is Sean Winkler. And a little quack for you as well. Welcome back to the booth, partner, and congrats on another podium run.
Yeah, thanks. Good to be good to be back. Yeah, nice to be here.
Well, Quack was not whack here tonight, as you're back up here finishing runner-up and had to get your elbows out there late to get past Dennis Mickelson, and had to pass a lot of trucks before that as well.
Yeah, that invert definitely makes it interesting starting there from the back 15th. So I just knew there was going to be a lot of action up ahead of me, and try to drive through as clean as you can and avoid as much carnage as possible. So I think I did that as good as I could do, given everything in front of me.
James, what do you got?
So, speaking of Quack, I know you were ahead of it, so you didn't have to duck. Haha, pun.
Yeah.
But did you see that incident in the heat race when the 07 truck hit the wall? Did you see that behind you at the start of the heat?
I did not, James. No, I didn't see it. I'll have to go back and watch it in the replay here.
Well, it's good that you weren't anywhere around any of the crazy things, because there are quite a few wicked tumbles and static object collisions as well. So
yeah,
being one of the only trucks to finish with all the fenders and the hood on there has to feel pretty good.
Oh, yeah, I guess that does feel pretty good. I mean, I was definitely getting a little bing-bonged out there, just trying to drive through the field, trying to chase down Josh. He's pretty good, so if I could just stay close to him, I know I could get through. And then I saw Dennis. He had both his jokers taken, and he was gaining some time on me, so I had to take my joker and then kind of work back from there and make a pass on him in that right-hander, make it stick. Yeah.
Well, fun stuff here tonight. Congrats on another strong run. Anybody want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, thank you. I want to thank Racecraft Academy, NLR, Real Broker, all my fans in the stands. What's up, Kenny? How you doing? You guys, thanks a lot. Tommy and James for broadcasting and announcing this and putting on a great show. It's super fun to be out here. Appreciate Matt for putting on this league. It's a good time. Yeah, really enjoy it. Thanks a lot, guys.
Absolutely, partner. Thanks for the time. We'll hopefully talk to you again next week.
Hope so. Yeah, see you next time.
Now it's time for Josh Edmondson, a race winner for the second time already this season. Welcome back to the booth. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
A pretty interesting night. Your workload was fairly similar to what it was in race 2 last week. You get to go one better. But it seemed like the Joker lap helped alleviate some of the pressure of getting through the field there early.
Oh, it did for sure. I saved them a little bit, and then I had some clean air. I was able to take both of my jokers to just give me clean air, and I think that helped a lot. Time in the jokers is everything. Raced a lot of Rallycross, so I got a lot of experience with that. That definitely helped.
And then being able to make passes here is very difficult, especially if you don't, just give in to the urge and body up on people. But you were able to do it pretty cleanly here tonight. I mean, what's the secret if you can give away any?
Man, just try and stay out of the carnage. Try and anticipate where guys are going to hit each other and duck under them, especially those first couple laps when the track was fresh. It's really slick, and a lot of people were sliding wide, and I was just being patient, and I was able to tuck under a few people there. But yeah, I mean it's tough competition. All the guys out here, Greg and Dennis and Sean and everybody, these guys have been doing it for a long time, and they're really fast. So you really got to make your move stick and try not to lose track position. That's huge here too.
James, what do you got for the race winner?
Yeah, give the folks at home a little more insight on what it's like having to readjust when the track state changes and how much of an adjustment period that is trying to get used to the new lack of grip or gain of grip in some circumstances.
Yeah, well, this has to be some of the most change in the track that I've ever raced on. It's actually the first time I've raced this combination, this truck and this track. And I've never had a track go that far, transition to a completely different track at the end. I mean, in the beginning, you have to turn in super early because it's so slick. And then towards the end, I mean, it's almost down to the tarmac. So you're almost driving it like a touring car. So it's literally completely different from the first lap to the last.
Well, fantastic stuff here tonight. Congratulations, and congrats on getting back up onto the board with your second win of the season. Anybody you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, shout out you guys for putting on the broadcast. I'll definitely go back and watch this one, and Matt for putting on the league. This has been a lot of fun, and everybody on the team, Channel 199, Sim Racing, Track Racer, Pimax VR, and Racecraft.
Alrighty, partner. Thank you for the time. We'll hopefully talk to you again next week, but go celebrate, go party hard.
Yeah, will do. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
So Edmondson will take his second victory of the season. Pretty fun night here at the Charlotte Rallycross course. We got a couple more RX races to go here this season, and if tonight was anything to gauge off of, I'd say we're definitely going to be looking forward to those.
Oh yeah, especially the next RX track on the schedule, Brands Hatch. The start of Brands Hatch is basically this, but right hand, and 1,000 times worse, 1,000 times tighter. It's I propose we're gonna get tonight's start on steroids on that one, so I'm looking forward to it.
So 5 wide, not advised.
No. Even 3 wide is dodgy because it's also a lot narrower. So even 3 wide is going to be sketchy as heck.
Well, anything else you want to say before we close up shop here?
It's just a really great race all around. We saw a lot of jaw-dropping moments, like the start of Heat 2. I've never had a reaction quite that visceral on air. Like it was so violent. I just screamed. It was madness. I can only imagine the horror of if that was real life. This is definitely one for the ages. I'm happy to call it and be a part of it.
Well, happy that we got you up here in the booth to experience that one. Definitely a wild night. Looking forward to much of the same next week when we get to some, I guess, permanent track. I don't know how you want to differentiate that, but we're at the short layout of Crandon next week. So excited to get Crandon on the channel finally, and excited to turn these guys loose for 2 more rounds next Friday night at the usual time, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Got lots of racing between now and then as well. We'll be racing Monday night. It is the first chase race for Truck 200. The field of 8 has been set, unset, unset, and reset again. Now we finally have a driver lineup of 8 drivers who will go for their first and only Truck 200 Championship, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Then Tuesday night, the Venom Truck Series will be racing at Iowa on John Kay's birthday bash, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time for that one. Thursday night, it is round number 2 of the season, and we're sticking with Super Speedway racing for the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series from the new Atlanta Motor Speedway at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and that will lead us into Crandon next week at 9 o'clock Eastern. We'll hope to catch you there. Thank you to everybody that was hanging out with us here tonight. Gecko, Radom, and Josh Edmondson hopping in the chat there late. Matt Schlosser, Snark Racing, Nicholas Pressey, Stickers McQueen, and Ryan Dye. Thank you to everybody that was hanging out with us in the chat. Thank you to everybody that was watching. Thank you to Matt Schlosser and everybody with the Special Stage Pro Truck Series. And thank you to James Watson as well. That's all we got for you here tonight. Until we meet again from the Charlotte Rallycross course, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long, and congratulations to Josh Edmondson on taking win number 2 on the season. Have a good night, everybody.
This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.